Woods, you have 3 minutes. The buzzer will sound when there is 1 minute to go, and then again at the end of your time. Thank you.
Yes, today I'm speaking on behalf of the Trade Unionist and Socialist Coalition, TUSC. And TUSC is the only political party that opposes all public sector cuts. Now, we've heard about Christmas cheer in the council chamber today, but there's no Christmas cheer in this budget. There's no goodwill to the people of Portsmouth. To see £13 million of cuts for each of the next 3 years is a disaster. To see over £5 million worth of cuts in adult social care for the next 3 years is criminal. This budget is brought by the Tories, UKIP, and to their shame, the Labour group. All the parties on this council pass on funding cuts. And I just wanted to say that it won't be any different if the Lib Dems have put it forward. We have a very similar budget here as well, so I'm not letting the Lib Dems off the hook either. Council workers are run ragged trying to cover for the jobs that have been cut already after 4 years of swingeing cuts in this council. Frontline services have already been seriously affected by previous years of cuts. The budget cuts before you today will bring council services to their knees. If passed and implemented, this budget will hit services to the most vulnerable people in this city, people who have already suffered under 4 years of condemned austerity. And I think it's important to see the national picture here. You know, people have seen their benefits cut, suspended and delayed by all the DWP changes that Ian Duncan-Smith have put forward. People are forced to go to food banks to survive, often because they're in work but in low-paid jobs and can't afford to make ends meet. People are trying to get decent, affordable social housing and are hit by the bedroom. There isn't enough housing out there due to the cuts that the central government have been running. And if you look at the Daily Telegraph, not a known left-wing newspaper, the Telegraph says this government is a free marketeer's dream. It is more Thatcherite than Thatcher, more Reaganite than Reagan. The public sector will have lost almost 20% of total staff by 2020. Austerity clearly isn't working. Low wages, underemployment and 0 hours contracts have hit tax revenue and increased the needs of benefits. Chancellor is borrowing more. You have to go back to the mid-Victorian times to see a cut of this level in terms of living standards. As the Titanic sinks, Tories, Lib Dems, Labour and UKIP are busy rearranging the deck chairs. What's worse, instead of accepting responsibility for increasing poverty and for cutting services, the main political parties blame immigration. They all do it, but UKIP are the worst. They are a racist party full of racists, sexists and homophobes. Their latest supporter, who tweeted, is Nick Griffin, the Nazi ex-leader of the BNP who's pledged his support for UKIP in the elections. Unfortunately, instead of standing up to UKIP, the main political parties have pandered to them, given ground and accepted the lie that immigration is the problem. The real problem is cuts, austerity, and the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer. So what should councillors do with this budget? If they had any backbone, any conscience, any real concern for the people of Portsmouth, they would vote this budget down, refuse to implement George Osborne cuts, and lead a real fight to defend council services.